So that's Mo's engine, and it's running, which is great, because a couple of days ago it was not running at all. Today is March 12. We are 928 miles west of Hobart, trying to get there in about a week. I came below a couple of days ago to start the engine because I needed to motor. It was really, really light winds, and I needed to make some mileage. Engine started right up like it always does, and then it quit within about 5 minutes. It just choked off like it had no fuel. I had no idea what was going on. It never quits. It is a very dependable engine. It's a Buick, B-U-K-H, made in Denmark, 48 horsepower, turbocharged, original to the boat, 1989. Great little engine. So I started to dig around. I thought somehow maybe I had choked off the fuel to the engine, but that wasn't it. I noticed that the ray cores, the primary filter, I'll show you, primary filter, these right here, the one that was being used was absolutely full of water. Big shock, actually, because before leaving San Francisco, I had emptied the fuel tanks, cleaned them, polished the fuel. I knew that the 200 gallons of fuel I had in there was perfect. I filled up in Ushuaia, probably added about, I don't know, maybe 60 gallons or so, but I did it at a very, very popular, very busy fuel filling station, so very unlikely that I would have gotten water there. I had no idea what was going on. Thinking it through over the last several days and talking to other people, it seems like the only possible solution for getting so much water in the tanks is that the vents, which are in the cockpit and little cubby holes on either side, probably filled up with water when Mo got knocked down. We've been knocked over several times. I've had the cockpit full of water probably twice in the last couple of months. So that could be what happened. Still don't know. But what it required was that I do a full bleed all the way from the fuel line all the way to the engine. And I actually probably should have pulled the injectors and filled the reservoirs full of oil just to get the water out of the injectors, but I didn't end up having to need to, which is great because, well, for one thing, I've never done that before. And for another, I don't know that these injectors have ever been pulled, so that could be a real job. In any case, I did the full bleed all the way back to the injectors, and that seems to have done it. This is the third time I've run the engine since getting it started again. The only issue I have now is that the fuel on the starboard side tank in particular, which is trucker block full, 95 gallons of fuel. The fuel in that tank is cloudy, really cloudy, like pink grapefruit juice cloudy. And my friend Garrett, who's walked me through how to get water out of an engine, again, something fairly new to me. My friend Garrett says that that's emulsified water in the engine. I've tested for that. I don't get any bubbles when I boil the fuel over a flame. I don't get any bubbles from it, so I'm hoping he's wrong. He's usually not wrong, but I'm hoping he's wrong in this case because I need that fuel. The fuel on the port side tank, which is over on the left side of the pilot house here, is better. Still a little cloudy, but it's better. I'm still getting a little water into these primary fuel filters, but it's less, and I can take care of that while the engine's running. So that's good. We're back up and running. I'll need to do a full drain of the fuel system when I get to Ushuaia, and I'm sorry, when I get to Hobart. And actually, at Garrett's insistence, I pulled some of the crankcase oil and boiled that, and it popped and crackled. It had water in it as well. So I did a full oil change yesterday, and boy, that is just not a fun job when you're in a seaway in the Southern Ocean. It took me all afternoon to do a job which usually takes an hour or two. Crazy. In any case, we're back up and running. I still have not found the key. The key is somewhere in the boat. It has to be somewhere in the boat. I have not found it. So I have learned how to hotwire the ignition switch, which not only starts the engine, it also gets the alternator going so that I can charge the batteries from the engine. So all of that's like a week's worth of fiddling around, and boy, tired. So in any case, we're making progress. We're about a week or so from Hobart, and I hope we get there in about a week, because about a week and a day is a huge low pressure system. It'll have to drop itself right on top of Hobart. So we're pushing right now. I've got 15-20 minutes of wind from the from the west, and I've got both head sails pulled out full. So we're cranking. 7.5, 8 knots. Trying to make as much time as possible. Trying to get to Hobart. All right, that's my report for the day. Thank you for following along. See ya. Oh no, really?